Next we have our guest speaker, the District 4 Supervisor, Wendy Root-Askew. You have 15 minutes.
All right. Well, I hope someone will cut me off when we run out of time, because I can talk all night about the work that I do.
I got you.
With the County of Monterey. Thank you. Thank you. You're going to hold me accountable here. So my name is Wendy Root-Askew. I was elected to represent Seaside, Marina, South Salinas, Sand City, Rey Oaks, East Garrison, and most of the former Fort Ord, including CSUMB, as the District 4 County Supervisor. In 2020. I took office in January of 2021, and it has been, the only word I can use to describe the last couple of years, the county has been wild. It's been, we came in the middle of COVID, took on the chairship of the county board, and we've had 4 federally declared disasters in that period of time. So it's been a lot for the county to handle, but we are moving forward. And I am now, for the first time, kind of getting a chance to go back and revisit all of the things that I intended to get done when I ran for office. So I want to just do a quick overview of the county, because I think sometimes people don't really know, like, what is the county and what do we do. So the county is a subdivision of the state of California. There's 58 counties, and for the most part, counties do what we're told to do by the state or federal government with money that the state or federal government is providing us. So for instance, the state says, we want to administer CalFresh food stamps to the public. Counties, you will do that for us with the money that we're providing you to do that function. The state will also say things like, we want to have public defenders available to every resident in our state who is qualified for one. Counties, you're going to be the home where that service is provided. They don't actually give us money for that service, so we use our local dollars for that. So Monterey County is about 450,000 people. We have 12 incorporated cities within the county. So Seaside is one of our incorporated cities. Unlike how the state gets to tell the county what to do, the county does not get to tell cities what to do. Cities are their own incorporated jurisdiction. But we do work very closely, and I get to work with all 5 of the city electeds within District 4. So Monterey County has about a $1.92 billion budget. That's annual revenue that flows mostly through the state, through the county, back out how we're told to spend it, or through the federal government to the county, back out how we're told to spend it. But about 1/3 of that revenue is what we call discretionary. So it's where we have some local control over how do we allocate and spend those dollars. And so a lot of the decisions that come through the Board of Supervisors have to do with that, the administration of that discretionary revenue. A good portion of that 1/3 of our discretionary revenue has to be spent on things like running our jail. That's not, it's considered just, it's not funded through the mandates, it's called an unfunded mandate. So we have a lot of those where we've got to spend money. Your Board of Supervisors is governed, your county is governed by 5 members on a Board of Supervisors, which is great because I only need 2 other votes in order to do things the way I wanted to see them happen. And we meet every Tuesday from about 9 until 5 p.m. So those meetings are open to the public and Salinas. We have about 25 different departments, everything from the county libraries. We have a Seaside library here that's a Monterey County library. Our county parks, if you've ever been to Toro Park. The Seaside Medical Center. We have a brand new Seaside Health Clinic. That's a county health clinic. So the county's responsibilities are vast. They're very wide in terms of what we're required to cover. So having given that sort of overview of like what is the county and what do we do here, and for the supervisors, it's a full-time job for me. So I get to work full-time in service to my community, and I have a staff of 3 people, and we have an office in Marina. Although we're not always in the office because usually we're out in community. So when I came into office, in addition to dealing with COVID, I sat down with sort of my team and our local leaders, and I said, what should we focus on? Because there's so much I want to do, but really you have to sort of focus in on what you can actually get done. So we identified one big project in each of the 3 main communities that I represent. So in Seaside, the main big project that we identified is to look closely at the social services building on the corner of Noche Buena and Broadway. The county owns that entire city block. And we've been working previously to support the city in securing the safe routes to school and some of the Broadway renovation and visioning work that was done, which through all those things we were able to, with the transportation agency, secure some money, about $12 million in 2020, to support the city's planning work around Broadway renovation. So that building sits right on the key corner in Seaside. And if you've been inside that building, you would know that it's not in great condition. It's not ADA compliant for our employees to use the second floor. It's in desperate need. The bathrooms are held up by like wood blocks. The toilets are. It's in very poor condition. But because the state doesn't provide social services money to do capital facility projects, we haven't really had any revenue to work on doing something with that site. So I said, well, we took a tour and we realized the county could sort of take a step back and say, rather than how do we put a new roof on this building and how do we paint the walls that are crumbling, let's rethink what we can do with this property that both supports the vision that Seaside has for Upper Broadway, as well as addresses some of the other unmet needs in the community. We know that the library building in Lower Seaside, the city needs that facility. The city leases that building to the county to run the library. So we said, we know that they've been looking to have that site for other purposes. So we said, what if we thought about using this city block up here to rebuild a social services building that's appropriate for our employees and a dignified, respectful place for people to obtain services? What if we were able to relocate the library into a brand new building that the county owns? What if we were able to secure permanent WIC offices, the Women, Infants, and Children program, which we've sort of bounced around throughout the city? What if we were able to provide a community meeting space or a child care space? What if we were able to think about, we have the homeless shelter, the Casa de Noche Buena shelter right there. What if we were able to go 3-4 stories up with support of the city and build affordable housing on a top row? What if we could do all of these things? Let's think about that. So we were able to secure some funding in last year's budget, and we've got a team of county designers and architects and planners who are doing all of the site analysis work that has to be done before you can move forward on a project like that. Do we have water credits? What kind of soils are there? What are the permitting requirements from the city? What is the city's vision for Broadway? And can we help support that by building out on that site? Because what we have right now kind of looks like blight in Upper Seaside, and Seaside deserves better than that. And if I have control from where the county sits, I'm going to focus on that. So we've found a lot of support with the county, and that project is moving forward. So without making promises, because I'm not here to make promises, I'm here to get the work done, stay tuned, because we do hope that we'll be having more information to share about what we've got in the works there. So that's my Seaside project. And Marina, how are you doing on time? Am I out of time?
Okay.
Okay. In Marina, there's a health clinic. So in Seaside, we have a family health center that's part of the county health clinic. I sit on the board for the Central California Alliance for Health as part of my county assignments. And the Medi-Cal, Alliance for Health provides all the Medi-Cal health insurance in Monterey County. And if you look at the membership of Medi-Cal, about half of our kids in Monterey County receive Central California Alliance for Health Medi-Cal as their insurance. And a little over a third of our adults in Monterey County rely on the Alliance for their Medi-Cal insurance. So if we're going to provide Medi-Cal folks, we need to make sure they have a clinic to go to, a doctor to see. In Seaside, we have a brand new clinic facility. It's beautiful. If you've been inside, it's something we can all be really proud of. We were able to do that in partnership with Montage. They built it for us, and then we were able to buy it back. We need to do the same thing in Marina. The Marina clinic that we have has 4 tiny little rooms. It has 2 providers, and we're only serving less than a quarter of the people within that Marina zip code service area that are eligible for what we call FQHC clinic services. We're expanding Medi-Cal, we're expanding who's eligible for Medi-Cal through the Alliance, and we need a bigger health clinic in Marina. And we need one that doesn't have a leaking roof and doesn't have, has adequate parking, has appropriate places for providers to serve their patients. So Marina, that's my big project. And then in Salinas, there's this downtown vibrancy plan. So a whole group of folks in Salinas have been thinking about how do we create a vibrant downtown. So they've developed an entire plan. The county's headquarters is right there in downtown Salinas. And we utilize, for all of our parking needs, a bunch of empty city blocks. So as Salinas starts doing infill development and building out their downtown, they're realizing we're limited in our development spaces, but there's all these empty city blocks that we use for parking. Well, parking is not the highest and best use of a city block, but so if we can move all those cars off of those city blocks will be available for infill, transit-oriented, affordable housing and other development, which is what we want in a vibrant, healthy city. So we're trying to figure out where do we move those cars to, and is it feasible financially to build a parking structure in partnership with the city of Salinas so that we can get those cars, that the county employee cars, off of those lots and into a parking structure. So those are my big 3 projects. There's so many other things we're working on, but I like to just sort of highlight those things. In East Garrison, we've got some affordable housing going up. I'm going to get cut off here. So I took notes of all the things. Like I said, for me, this is my full-time job. I'm here to work for you, so I hope that you won't hesitate to call my office if you have questions, if you're wondering how do I navigate services. Many of the services that are needed, municipal services, are provided by the city if you live in an incorporated city. But things like, medical access or food access, some of those things the county helps navigate. So I want to invite you all. We're having a town hall next month with Mayor Bruce Delgado and Marina. I will get the dates for you. We're doing a town hall. We had to reschedule our town hall with Mayor Oglesby because of the flooding. I have an email newsletter that we send out about twice a month. So if you're interested in just getting quick updates about what we're working on, please contact the office and we'll get you added to that mailing list. We're also active. I've got my staff. We try to keep a lot of information flowing out on all the social medias, so Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. So feel free to follow us there. And my final call will be to, I know you all have a lot of commissions of your own and committees through NAACP, but the county also has quite a few ways for the community to get involved and have your voice heard to advise the Board of Supervisors on different things. So we have commission vacancies specific to District 4, so things like if you're interested in behavioral health, Commission on the Status of Women, the Community Action Partnership. Oh my gosh, there's there's more than a dozen, there's 25 different commissions that we point to. So if you're interested in getting more involved, I've left my card here, so reach out to the office and we'll help you navigate and find the right way to get involved. But mostly I just want to say thank you for having me. I love this work, I love serving my community, and it's just my honor to be able to be of service in this way. And I'd love to talk all night about all the other things we're working on, but thank you for this couple minutes tonight.
Thank you. We'll take 3 questions for supervisors. Ask you if we have any.
Or comments, or feedback, or ideas, suggestions.
Did you state there are 12 incorporated cities within the county?
The incorporated cities that I represent?
Did you state that there are 12 incorporated cities within the county?
12,
Oh,
correct, yeah. And we have 5 of those incorporated cities within District 4 that I represent. Yeah. All right.
Any more questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
This plan with the social service building and possibly using the property, or have you already secured that possibility?
So the county owns that property. That whole city block is owned by the county. And the first step in sort of just determining like what our options are is to hire we have internal services that we hire through the county. So we've asked them to look at so we have started that process, and there is a group that's meeting. We've been out on a tour with the mayor and some city council folks. We've had John Laird out on a tour because we will need additional funding from the state in order to actually move that forward. But before you ask the state for money, you have to be very clear about what it is you're asking for. So we're working on that sort of very initial steps. Yeah.
So, how would I be able to get involved?
Compound question? 3 questions, okay.
I just want to know how would I be able to
You can get a card if you
Yeah, follow us on social media because at some point we will have some sort of public meeting on that point. We just don't have enough information yet. We're super very beginning stages. Yeah.
Any more questions for her?
A quick one. I know there are several nonprofits in the county that address the issue of homelessness in different ways, and I hear that the county is aware of the need as well. And I'm wondering what's the best way for those nonprofits in the county to interface and work together is there any mechanism for that?
There absolutely is. So if I had more time or another time, we can talk about homelessness, because the county is actually making progress. We're one of the only agencies, the only jurisdiction throughout the state that's seeing a reduced population of unhoused individuals. Every other jurisdiction that you look at is seeing double-digit increases. Monterey is seeing double-digit decreases. And as a trend in terms of our count numbers. So we do have the Coalition of Homeless Service Providers, the CHPS, that has a lead. They are our continuum of care. So they get all of our federal HUD dollars and distribute those out to service providers. Becoming a part of the continuum of care and the Coalition of Service Providers is the best way for a nonprofit who wants to be a part of the larger service network. There could be funding attached to that. There could be other benefits of just knowing what's happening and what the larger plan is. And then being able to align whatever the nonprofit work is with the 5-year plan, countywide regional plan to reduce, Leave Me Home is what we call it, our 5-year plan to reduce homelessness.
Great.
Yeah, great question.
Thank you, Supervisor Askew.
Okay, Wes, you know where to find me. You can call me.